The year 2008 shook the world. It was a time of unprecedented turmoil and uncertainty. The global financial crisis sent shockwaves through economies, affecting millions of lives. Global financial systems teetered on the edge of collapse. Stock markets plummeted, wiping out trillions of dollars in wealth. People watched in horror as their savings and investments evaporated almost overnight. Banks, the supposed bedrock of stability, faltered and failed. Major financial institutions that were once considered invincible crumbled under the weight of bad debts and risky investments. Public trust in traditional financial institutions plummeted. People took to the streets, protesting against the banks they once relied on. The empty lobbies of these institutions became a stark symbol of the crisis. It was against this backdrop of uncertainty and fear that a revolutionary idea began to take root. Conversations about financial alternatives and innovations started to gain momentum. People craved an alternative, a way to protect themselves from the vulnerabilities of the centralized financial system. They sought a solution that could offer security and independence from traditional banking. The timing, as it would turn out, was perfect for the emergence of Bitcoin. This digital currency promised a new way of thinking about money, one that was decentralized and free from the control of any single entity. In the depths of the financial crisis, when the world was grappling with economic turmoil and uncertainty, a mysterious figure using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto appeared. This enigmatic individual, or perhaps group of individuals, chose to remain anonymous, shrouded in secrecy. Nakamoto published a white paper in October 2008. This document was meticulously crafted and detailed. It was titled, "Bitcoin, a Peer-to-Peer Electronic Cash System." The title itself hinted at a revolutionary concept. This paper would ignite a revolution. It sparked intense discussions and debates within the tech community and beyond. It outlined a vision for a new kind of currency, a currency that was digital, secure, and independent of traditional financial systems. This currency wouldn't be controlled by governments or banks. It was a radical departure from the norm, challenging the very foundations of the financial world. Instead, it would be decentralized, belonging to everyone and no one at the same time. This decentralization was key to its revolutionary potential. The white paper was technical, dense, and revolutionary. It delved into complex cryptographic concepts and proposed innovative solutions. It proposed a system built on a technology called blockchain. This technology would ensure transparency, security, and trust in a decentralized manner, laying the groundwork for the future of digital currencies. Bitcoin aimed to fundamentally change how we think about money. It would exist solely in the digital realm. Transactions would be recorded on a public ledger called the blockchain. This blockchain would be maintained by a distributed network of computers around the world. No single entity could control it. No government could manipulate it. Bitcoin transactions would be secure, transparent, and irreversible. This was radical. This was disruptive. This was the potential dawn of a new financial era. On May 22, 2010, a programmer named Laszlo Hanyecz made history. In a groundbreaking move, he decided to use a relatively unknown digital currency called Bitcoin to make a purchase. This wasn't just any purchase, it was for two. This transaction was monumental because it was the first time Bitcoin was used in a real-world scenario, bridging the gap between digital currency and tangible goods. It might seem mundane, but this was a watershed moment. The excitement among the early Bitcoin community was palpable. They saw this as a validation of Bitcoin's potential to revolutionize the financial world. It marked the first time Bitcoin was used for a real-world transaction. This simple act of buying pizza demonstrated that Bitcoin could be used as a medium of exchange, not just a speculative asset. Hanyecz paid 10,000 Bitcoins for those pizzas. At the time, this amount was worth about $40. However, the significance of this transaction went far beyond its monetary value. Today, that amount of Bitcoin would be worth a fortune. The value of Bitcoin has skyrocketed over the years, making those two pizzas some of the most expensive in history. But back then, it was a testament to the growing belief in Bitcoin's potential. Early adopters like Hanyecz were pioneers, willing to take risks on this new form of currency. People were willing to use this new, untested currency. They believed in its promise to decentralize finance and provide an alternative to traditional banking systems. The seeds of a movement had been sown. This single transaction paved the way for the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies, changing the financial landscape forever. Bitcoin's early days were not without challenges. Skepticism abounded. Many dismissed it as a fad, a bubble, a currency for criminals. Technical hurdles had to be overcome. The value of Bitcoin was volatile. Adoption was slow. But despite the obstacles, a community of believers persisted. They saw the potential of this technology. They understood its implications. They were willing to build, to experiment, to advocate. And slowly, steadily, Bitcoin began to gain traction.